Okay, here's our first video for Unit 9. It's been a while since we've done videos, so just make sure you have everything in front of you, your calculator, something to write with, and you were given the notes, so it's kind of a little bit easier, so you're just filling in. All right, let's start with law of cosines. Just a little refresher on angles and sides of triangles. Remember that the angles are represented by uppercase letters and the sides are represented by lowercase letters. You can always find the side opposite its angle and the angle opposite its side. First thing that we're going to talk about is called law of cosines. Well, with law of cosines, if a triangle does not have a right angle and given is side, 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 or side, angle, side, with one piece missing, you can find the missing pieces by using what's called law of cosines. And if you notice, law of cosines is written 3 different ways because it all determines on either which side or which angle you're looking for. But what's really important is you can only use law of cosines if you have side, 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 or side, angle, side. If that's not what you're dealing with, then you can't use law of cosines. Let me show you what I mean. Let's take a look at number 1. In triangle A, when we're doing this unit, you'll find that the best thing to do is to actually draw your triangles. So we're going to draw a triangle and label it ABC. We don't know what kind of triangle it is, so we're just going to draw any kind of triangle and label it ABC. Well, I definitely know across from angle A is side little a, and from B is side little b, and from C is side little c. All right, with that being said, it said if A is 4, and little c is 6, and the cosine of angle B is 1/16, so I know the cosine of him, find B. Okay, so what do I have going on here? If I look at it, I have side, angle, side. So side, angle, side means I can use law of cosines. I'm looking for side B, so that's what I'm going to start off with. So I'm going to say B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. So again, the side you start off with, you finish with that angle. All right, so now we're going to do some filling in. B squared stays as B squared equals A squared. Well, A is 4, so it's 4 squared plus C is 6 squared minus 2 times 4 times 6. Cosine of B, they already gave me the cosine of B of 1/16, so the cosine of B is 1/16. I no longer have the word cosine because they told me what it was. So I could put the whole right side on my calculator. So you want to go ahead and do that. You might want to pause the video and come back to see what you got. All right, hopefully you ended up with 49. We're going to square root both the sides because we want to get rid of the squaring. B is plus or minus 7, but in this case it's a measurement, so we're only going to go with 7 as the side. Okay, now that we've got the first one done, let's go on to the next one. So number 2 says, in triangle ABC, side A is 5, B is 7, and C is 10. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle. And we're going to label it ABC, and then side little a, little b, little c. All right, let's see what we have here. It says A is 5, so we'll put it in. B is 7, put it in. C is 10, put it in. So according to what we have here, we have side, 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 so we can use law of cosines. They want us to find the cosine of B. Okay, since they want us to find the cosine of B, we're going to start with the side opposite, which is side B. So we're going to have B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. All right, so we have 7 squared equals 5 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 5 times 10 cosine of B. And that's who we're looking for, the cosine of B. So we have 49 equals. Now I can put together 5 squared plus 10 squared, but I cannot put it together with 2 times 5 times 10 because 2 times 5 times 10 goes with cosine of B. So let's see here. 5 squared plus 10 squared is, you're right, 125, minus 2 times 5 times 10 is 100. Cosine of B. We're solving for cosine of B, so we want to get it by itself. So we're going to subtract 125 on both sides. And we're going to end up with negative 76 equals negative 100 cosine of b. We're going to actually divide each side by a negative 100 because we're solving for cosine of b. And we'll end up with 0.76 equals cosine of b. And they didn't ask for angle b, they asked for cosine of b, so there's my answer. If we wanted to make 0.76 a fraction, what math fraction on our calculator, it would have came out to 19/25, so either answer is acceptable. Okay, let's move on to number 3. In triangle RST, so let's draw triangle RST. RST, little r, little s, little t. All right, they say here that r is 11, so we're going to put it in. S is 12, put it in. Angle T is 120 degrees, so we're going to put that in. They want us to find little t. Well, let's see here. What do we have here? We have side, angle, sine, so it's law of cosines. We're looking for little t, and we have angle t, so we're going to start with t squared. Because again, you always start with the side of the opposite, the angle you're looking for, or the side you're looking for. So t squared equals r squared plus s squared minus 2rs cosine of t. Now you're going to say, how do I know what order? I always just do alphabetical order. All right, t squared stays as t squared equals 11 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 11 times 12 cosine and angle t is 120 degrees. So I could put that in. I can put the whole right side in my calculator because everybody's filled in. I can go 11 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 11 times 12 cosine of 120. Enter. And I end up with, waiting for you, hopefully you got what I got, 397. And they want it to the nearest integer. So I'm going to square root both sides and round to the nearest integer. And I'm going to end up with approximately, you're right, 20. So there's your answer for side T. Okay, we have a couple more examples to do, so let's move on. Number 4 says isosceles triangle RED, where RE and ED are both 5. So E is being shared. So I'm going to draw an isosceles triangle here, which means two sides are exactly the same. Since E is being shared, I'll put E up here, so it's RED. So little r, little e, little d. All right, let's fill in what we know. R to E and E to D are both 5. So this guy's 5 and this guy's 5. And R to D, which is side E, is 8, which is side, 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 so we can use law of cosines. They want us to find the measure of angle E. Since I'm looking for angle E, I'm going to start with side E. So I have E squared equals, and I just do alphabetical order for the rest. We're going to do d squared plus r squared minus 2 times dr cosine of E. Okay, 8 squared equals 5 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 5 cosine of E. All right, 64 equals 5 squared plus 5 squared is 50, minus 2 times 5 is 50, cosine of E. Subtract 50 on both sides. We're going to get 14 equals a negative, it's a 14 just so you know, a negative 50 cosine of E. Divide each side by negative 50. We're going to end up with negative 0.28 equals cosine of E. And again, hopefully you're following me on the calculator. But they didn't want cosine of E. If I go back to the directions, they want me to find angle E to the nearest degrees. So if I have the answer and I need the angle, how do I do that? You're right. Second cosine, negative 0.28, enter, to the nearest degree. 106 degrees equals angle E. Nice job. All right, let's go on to the very last question. In parallelogram ABCD, so let's see, let's draw a parallelogram. Remember, a parallelogram looks like a rectangle. It's just on a slant a little bit. Okay, so we have A, B, C, and D. A to B is 11. So opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. B to C is 17. So this guy's 17. If the measure of ABC is 102 degrees and 36 feet, so A, that's angle B, so this is 102, 36. All right, find the length of diagonal from A to C. Which really, if you take a look at the triangle here, let's take a look at the triangle at the top, okay? This would be little b, this would be little a, and this would be little, you're right, C. And if you look what we have side angle side, so it's law of cosines. Since we're looking for side B, that's what we're going to start with. B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. All right, B squared equals 17 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 17 times 11 cosine of 102 degrees 36 minutes. Okay, make that a minute. All right, I can put the whole thing on the right side in my calculator. Just have to be very careful. Remember, I'll need the degree symbol and the minute symbol, which is under the APPS button. So we're going to have B squared equals, take your time, put that in the calculator. Did you get a long decimal? Try math fraction enter. Okay. It still stays a long decimal, so let's copy what you see on the screen. 491.58555723. We want to square root both sides, so now you're going to go second square root, second answer on your calculator, enter. B equals, I need it to the nearest tenth of an inch. You're correct, 22.2 inches. So today we learned how to do law of cosines by finding a missing side or a missing angle. As long as we have either side angle side or side 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 present, we can do law of cosines. Okay, bring your questions to class tomorrow and I'll see you then.